up, my friends? It's an early start. Episode 47 of Chazz Says Anything. Back on Chazz Says Anything YouTube page and an early start. Okay, so if you like what you hear and like what you see, click the subscribe button on the right hand corner. It's probably there now. I hope everybody hears me well. It's a little early start, I do know. First, I'll say back on the Roselle page. Yesterday, I had logged on, and for whatever reason, it came back to this page. So, like magic. So, it's a little crazy. Okay, now why am I starting early? Now, why are people probably not going to be able to watch this at all because people are working or doing whatever at 5 o'clock on a normal Tuesday? Because the Mets are at the Yankees, and in this house, it's must-see TV. And watching with the wife, who's behind me working still, it can get very comical. Just wanted to say that. So let's talk about New York Mets and Yankees round 2. Let's do a little series preview. So we know who's starting, I think. It says it here. Probably doesn't say it here yet. So this is an article from Matt Ferenchik, Yankees previews. It's from SB Nation. So he says, Monday saw the Yankees finish up a rare weekend wrap around series by salvaging a split against the Rays, which if you watch that series, guys, and you're a Yankees fan, that was a pretty pathetic weekend. We just dominated for some reason yesterday, and I'm fine with that, but we did not look good as a whole. The team doesn't look good as a whole. While 2 games in the middle were particularly fun, that's an understatement. The 2 wins in the 4-game series were good and definite improvements on what happened in the final couple weeks before the All-Star break. Next up is another 2-game set against the Mets in part 2 of this year's Subway Series. These meetings are always a little interesting, but things did get a little spicier in the wake of comments from former Yankees pitcher, now Mets, Luis Severino. In a tweet, Luis Severino is in a group chat with some members of the Yankees. Said he told him he was afraid of them after not starting in the first Subway Series at Citi Field. Obviously, they were probably joking. And Severino's response, I'm not afraid of you guys. Right now, you have only 2 good hitters. Yeah, crazy. Oh, I got a comment already. You sound sad. Cheer up, Buttercup. Yeah. Well, like I said, today was a long day. I'll probably get better as the day goes along, or as the show goes along. Like I said, it's been a wild week and a half, and the Yankees aren't doing what they should be doing, and it's honestly, they have to do something, and I'll talk about this more in a little bit with the trade deadline. Severino did say himself he isn't scheduled to appear on the mound in this series, but it will be interesting to see if the Yankee lineup comes into this set with a bit of an edge. Besides those comments, the Yankees were also pretty thoroughly beaten and when the 2 teams met in Queens a few weeks back. They look to avenge their losses starting tonight. Well, ain't that the damn truth? Before things get underway, let's take a look at the pitching matchups we're expecting to see over the next 2 days. Before I get to that, another comment from Start Today. I'm passing Camden Yards right now. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Very nice. Okay. Someone's in Baltimore. All right. Today's game pitchers: Luis Teal for the Yankees and Jose Quintana for the Mets. Heel will be the last cab off the rank as the Yankees rearrange their rotation post All-Star break. While he notably struggled in June and his first start of July, Heel has been much better in the last 2 games before the break, allowing 1 run in each of his last 2 starts, both of which went 6 innings plus. That he's needed to do that, period. That being said, one of his starts in his slump came against the Mets at Citi Field. He struggled mightily with the control that day, walking 4 batters and hitting 2, as he gave up 5 runs in 4 in the 3rd inning. Now, here's the thing. I don't suspect he's going to hit batters tonight. I don't think he might walk a couple. That's to be that's possible. But his control should be better. He's at home. what my fear is tonight, if anybody saw the lineup that came out at 3:30 or 3 o'clock, it's someone on Twitter, according to Michael K, already called it a punt lineup. And honestly, I said it on somebody else's, it might have been Instagram, might have been Twitter, I don't even remember, before I went to pick up my wife at the car dealership. I had said, this lineup, well, I meant the mechanic, not the car dealership. Okay. Anyway, I said on this post, I said, Quintana essentially can walk Soto and Judge in every at bat and get a no hitter with this lineup. That's how bad this lineup is. JD Davis is the number 4 hitter behind Judge. And it's all because Quintana's a lefty, and I get it, but I'm sorry, it needs to be figured out better than this. We need better right-handed hitters in. Where's Cabrera? He's a switch hitter. He's not in the lineup, and that bugs me. Like, you put in Ben Rice, and I get it. But he's been struggling. Put in, for God's sakes, put in Cabrera in. I mean, and yes, LeMahieu did get you a home run, but it was number 1 of the season, and we're in July. So there's got to be a better plan. Another comment. Dealership, new car. No. I know. No, start today. I said dealership. I meant mechanics. Start today, not dealership. Anyway. I got the new car. She still got her car, but her brakes are going. That's why I had to pick her up. Anyway, so to finish off with this today's pitcher, a long time ago Yankee prospect Quintana. So Quintana was a Yankee prospect. Has generally graded out as a bit below average pitcher so far this season, following a pretty good April. He has elevated his ERA to a 4.46 and a 5.35 FIP since then. Although he has been better of late, while his last start before the All-Star break wasn't great, he threw 7 shutout innings in each of his previous 2. So we're going to see one of 2 Quintanas tonight. One is going to implode, or one who actually might get you through 5. With Heel, either he's going to completely implode, or there's no middle with Heel. He's going to completely implode, or he's going to go 7 strong. I don't know what we're going to see tonight, and especially with the hitting. I don't know. Quintana, like I said, he could give 4 walks in 2 innings, and they could both be DeSoto and Judge, and he could have a no-hitter. It's as simple as that. So we'll see what happens with that. Now, tomorrow is where I'm a little more hopeful. Wednesday, Garrett Cole versus Sean Manaea. After taking a little while to get up to speed after returning from his injury, Cole has appeared back to being well. He's 3-1 right now. He's going in with a 3-1 record in 5 or 6 games. Man, those first 2 games weren't the greatest of games. He kicked things off for the Yankees after the break and looked very good against the Rays, allowing 1 run in 6 innings while striking out 8. This will be the test to see just how back he is, as Cole started in the previous Mets series. That was his first start, so that's why it really wasn't the start he probably wanted to have. It was his primary cause above any worries about him. The Mets got Cole for 4 home runs that day. You're not getting Cole for 4 home runs on Wednesday, I'll tell you right now. Maybe 2 at best. Are you saying to me? Anyway, so after 4 innings, he was knocked out after 4 innings in that game. The games since then have been mostly fine, but it's interesting to compare and contrast in those starts. Manaea, on the other hand, has been pretty solid so far this season, putting up 3.73 ERA with a 105 ERA plus and a 3.85 FIP. The lower the FIP, the better, if nobody knows. Don't ask me to explain it. I don't even know what it is. I've seen FIP enough. The lower, the better. That run includes a pretty decent start against the Yankees in the previous series, shutting them out over 5 innings. That being said, the Yankees did put some decent plate appearances against him, drawing 5 walks. So that just couldn't be breakthrough with a big hit, which will make them pay for those walks. Yeah. See, if you get a walk, you gotta get the hit to make them pay. It's as simple as that. Another comment from Start today. If we're driving, you shouldn't be commenting. Anyway, he needs to grow out again. Who? Okay, I've been talking about a couple people. Who's he? Got to be specific on the he, because I've talked about like 4 different people. So, hair. Oh, my hair needs to grow out again? Nah. No, no from the wife. You're lucky she's working Start today. She be commenting back at you. Okay, so like I said, that's a pinstripe. Again, I can't say pinstripe report. That's not a pinstripe report. The Yankees and Mets round 2. I'm hoping for a split, which will give the Mets a 3-1 series win for the year. But I'm really hoping for we win these next 2, we split it, and we go on, because we got Boston at the end of this week. I think they got San Diego or Philly. I'm not sure which one. So, and something that Michael K said with Don and Peter this afternoon as I'm coming home, and it's a good question. What team needs this more? The obvious answer, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I'm not, is the Yankees, for the simple fact that we're in a harder division. We're behind the Baltimore Orioles. We won, and there's tougher teams in the AL than there is in the NL. The only 2 tough teams in the NL are the Dodgers and the Phillies. Other than that, the Mets, they could win out the next 40 out of 60, still be like the 4th seed, and anything's possible. The Yankees are in a whole different ballgame. So the Yankees have to keep winning, period. Okay, so I'll stop talking baseball for a minute, because this is actually upcoming on Friday. The 2024 Summer Olympic Games in Paris, seen on NBC and Peacock and other NBC stations, start on Friday, July 26th, all the way to the 2 Fridays after that, August 11th. Let's run through these events. There's a lot of them. It's all that and all that. So I didn't count, and I wasn't going to. There's a lot. Archery, artistic gymnastics, artistic swimming, athletics. I'll get into that. That was a curious one for me. Badminton, basketball, and there's basketball also 3-on-3. There's beach volleyball, boxing, what's called breaking, but it's break dancing. Okay, break dancing is now in the Olympics. Canoe, slalom, canoe, sprint, cycling, BMX, freestyle cycling, BMX racing, cycling, mountain bike, cycling, road, cycling, track. The track is the one a lot of people watch. I do love a lot the cycling track. Diving, equestrian, fencing, football, and the football is really soccer. We just call it soccer. Everybody else calls it football. Golf, handball, hockey, judo, marathon swimming, modern pentathlon, rhythmic gymnastics, rowing, rugby sevens. Okay, rugby sevens. Look it up. I might talk about it depending on what I have listed here. Sailing, shooting, skateboarding, sport climbing, surfing, swimming, which that's the basic, table tennis, taekwondo, tennis, trampoline. I have to watch that. I have to watch trampoline. Triathlon, volleyball, water polo, weightlifting, and wrestling. So that's the list of events that will be done over these next 2 weeks. I have a comment, I'm guessing, from Mr. Stark today, unless somebody else is on. Let's see. I love breakdancing. How are they going to give the points? Well, Start today, I recommend you watch it, because I don't know how they're going to give the points. I'm going to be watching as much as I can. I need to pay attention to some of these things that I've never seen before, like breakdancing, or as they're calling it, breaking. That's something that you might want to pay attention to. Let's see. Let me go to it. Hold on. I'll go to breaking. Okay. So I did a list. of every event in every. Okay, I do my work. I do my research. I make sure I know what I'm talking about. So for break dancing, it says B boys and B girls. So that's the divisions, and that's where they're winning men's for B boys and B girls gold, silver, and bronze. Um, Athletics. When they say athletics, and this is where I didn't know they used to call it a different term, but then now they're calling it athletics. From everything that's down here in the events, the old term for athletics is track and field. So it's the men's 100, 200, 300, 400, 800, and 1500 and 5,000 meter and 10,000 meter run. Also the marathon. I'm only doing men's because that's first. The steeplechase, the 110 meter hurdles, the 400 meter hurdles, high jump, pole vault, long jump, triple jump, shot put, discus throw, hammer throw, javelin throw. That's just the men's. There's also a men's decathlon, a men's 20 kilometer race walk. Damn, I could do that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you heard, but the wife said, yeah, okay, in the background. Also a men's 4x100 relay and a men's 4x400 relay. Now, the women have the same exact thing. So that's a lot of events in athletics. That's a lot of. This is where you see all these different golds and silvers. And there's a lot of different events. Obviously, artistic gymnastics. That's the one we know. That's the one we know with Simone Biles for the U.S. and her girls. Badminton. Mostly the Chinese usually win that. Basketball and basketball 3-on-3 is men's and women's. The 3-on-3 is interesting because that's a new thing in America, and other countries are picking it up. 3-on-3 is a faster paced game. It's basically 21 to us not young, 30 to 50-year-olds who played it on the courts back in the day in the 80s and 90s. It's 21 just 3-on-3. Let's see. Boxing. Okay, that's boxing the same as before. Canoe is very interesting. There's a lot of different canoe stuff, men and women. Cycling. The BMX freestyle is in parks, so they're doing whatever park they have. They're going to be doing this in a park. The road and track is obviously on an indoor track. I'm guessing. I don't think it's on outdoor. Diving, equestrian. I think if I'm correct, and I might be wrong on this now. Equestrian, Bruce Springsteen's daughter.
She's not in it.
That she okay. I'm getting.
She didn't qualify.
That's right. She was supposed to qualify. She did not qualify. So she was close to qualifying. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
See, on up to date information right there. Fencing. So if you don't know fencing, here's the individuals. It's épée individual, foil individual, and saber individual for men and women. And then there's also a team, men and women, of épée, foil, and saber. Interesting. Golf, men. So men golf is now in the Olympics. Oh my god. Judo from 48 kilograms to 78 for women and 60 kilogram to 100 plus kilogram for men. So if you don't know your kilograms, you got to learn it. Marathon swimming, the pentathlon. If you don't know the pentathlon, look it up. It's a long event. Rowing. That's a lot. Look it up. The Olympic website is a very interesting website where I found this. Anyway, rugby sevens, men and women. Sailing, there's windsurfing, kite, dinghy, and skiff. Whatever skiff is. Shooting, there's all different rifle shooting, skateboarding, sport climbing. You okay? Oh boy. The sport climbing. Now, the sport climbing looks interesting. Women's boulder and lead, and women's speed, and men are the same. So boulder and lead and speed are the two different sport climbing events, which could be interesting to watch. Swimming tends to be one of our better ones, and we got some big free. There's a lot of freestyle. Let's see what else we got. A lot of swimming, like almost the whole page is swimming. Table tennis. That's definitely usually China or Japan. Taekwondo. We've had some United States winners, if I'm correct. Let's see. Weightlifting for women goes from 49 kilograms to 80 plus 81. Men starts at 61 kilogram all the way to plus 102. And then wrestling, there's Greco-Roman for men only. That's interesting. And women and men have freestyle wrestling. Forgot. Let's see. Oh, the trampoline is men and women. So I'm again curious on the trampoline. There will be a few things that I'm going to focus on with trampoline. Trampoline to me is like, I don't know, curling in the winter. That's probably what it's like for me. Like something you think you can do, but I don't know if you can do because it is an actual athletic sport. Okay. That's the Olympics for now. I'll talk more about this next week with who's won what and when and where and why. So, trade deadline. Let me get out of this page and I'll go to the trade deadline. Rumors, news, and analysis on the tracker for the MLB 2024 trade deadline. The 2024 trade deadline is around the corner, with contending teams deciding what they need to add before 6 p.m. on July 30th, which is next Tuesday. So I should know by the next podcast who is traded to whom, where, and that we should know. So could Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette be on the move from the Toronto Blue Jays? More than likely. I don't think those two, I'd almost guarantee they're off their teams. Garrett Crochet, Luis Robert, and Jazz Chisholm, could they be Delta contenders? I'd pick two of those for the Yankees. I'm not liking Chisholm, but I'm thinking Chisholm could be a Yankee. And Crochet, I know would be a great Yankee and maybe take Heel out of that fifth spot, possibly putting Cortez in that fifth spot. And then who among the Dodgers, Yankees, Baltimore Orioles, and Phillies will go in all in to boost their 2024 World Series hopes? I'd say all four of those teams are going to do it at some point. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Guerrero goes to the no, not the where could Guerrero go? Of those four teams, the only team he could really go to is the Yankees. Baltimore's got a first baseman, Philly's got a first baseman, and Dodgers got a first baseman. So if Vladimir's going anywhere, it's the Yankees right now. I just don't know if that's going to be real unless Ben Rice does kind of keep going on this 4 for 44 pace he's on. Then maybe they do that just for the year. We'll see. It says whether your favorite club is looking to add or deal away or stand somewhere in between, here's the freshest intel on what we're hearing, reaction to completed deals, and what we now know for every team as trade season unfolds. 5 trending names to know. This one shocks me. Randy Arozarena. The outfielder will draw plenty of interest if the Rays choose to deal him. That second part is the key. I don't see them choosing to trade him. They might be somewhat out of the race, but Arozarena is basically all they got. They got other pieces here or there, but they're maybe a year away minimum. Arozarena is not going anywhere. It would shock me if he's gone. Vlad Guerrero will the Blue Jays start a rebuild or hold it to their superstar? The Yankees have players that they can trade to the Blue Jays. I wouldn't want to do that, but they could, as long as Shane Spencer is not part of that. You could trade anybody else. I saw there was a catcher in Somerset. I saw he could go. We're good on catchers. You could trade him. There's a couple pitchers. in AA, AAA that are going to be ready, if not this year, if not next year. That would be a good pickup for Guerrero. Also, Garrett Crochet, the pitcher everyone that is talking about. But is he a starter or a reliever? In my book, he's a starter. I don't see him as a reliever. Now there might be a pitches innings limit that he's on right now. That's a possibility. Luis Robert, risk reward outfielder who could be a deadline's biggest offensive difference maker. He could, but he plays a different position, I think. Let me see what he plays. He is, if this goes back to a center fielder. I'm trying to think who needs a center fielder. It's definitely not the Dodgers and the Yankees. So if it's not the Dodgers and the Yankees, then I don't know who else is taking him. I mean, maybe you put Luis Robert in Baltimore, maybe. So I don't know. Updates as of July 23rd. That would be today. Rays could be big players in next week. So that's the update out of Tampa Bay, saying that not just at Rosarina, but Eflin could be in a deal. Astros looking for rotation help. They're interested in pitching and not in Garrett Crochet sweepstakes. That's interesting. But they could be in for Fetty or Tyone. And actually, I've said this before. I want Fetty on the Yankees. I absolutely want Fetty on the Yankees. And I'm assuming this is start today. Want to talk about the Mets. How old is Vlad? That's a good question. Oh, you're going to look it up?
Why not?
Oh, Beth is going to look it up. Oh, that's great. Okay. Let's see. What
Vlad
else?
Is 25.
He's what?
25.
Oh my God, he is young. He's 25 years old. Start today. Wow. That is crazy. I thought he was older. Why did that slow down? I don't know. Okay, I want to go back to my banners. There we go. Okay. Where was I? Right here. Yes. Who will be the reigning champs? This is a good question. Who will the reigning champs deal away? Texas has not been doing good this year. Not as good as they had been last year. They could trade Evaldi. They could trade Robertson. They could trade Yates. They could trade Grossman. Even Adolis Garcia could be on the trading bin. Let's see. I was going to say anyone need a DH. You want to trade away your DH on the Mets? I don't know about that. That's what you're talking about. Cubs reliever drawing interest. Chicago's Mark Leiter Jr. Sounds like the part of the Leiter family. 2 impact hitters on the Dodgers radar. So Arozarena and Robert are on Dodgers radar. That's interesting. Who could the Dodgers give up though? Like the Dodgers don't have a lot. We'll see. And the Angels are in the team to watch too as well. Apparently they might be trading Kevin Pillar, Carlos Estevez, Brandon Drury, Luis Garcia, or even Hunter Strickland. Okay. And there are higher prices for these other guys that if they do go, there'll be higher prices for. Taylor Ward, Luis Rengifo, he was an all-star. Tyler Anderson and Griffin Canning. So yesterday's news, New York Yankees blanketing the trade market. The Yankees are looking for corner infield help. No surprise there. With some pitching add-ons, which includes the bullpen, where closer Clay Holmes has struggled over the past month. Tanner Scott from the Miami Marlins and Kyle Finnegan of the Washington Nationals could fit. Also, they're also, like I said, looking at Garrett Crochet. Hold on, I got to lift this up. Okay, seat keeps going down. Comment from Mr. Start today. Let's see. I'm thinking I'm going to buy a trampoline, smile and bounce. If you're young enough to get on the Olympic team to be a trampolinist, go for it. Let's see. Not too much more. Eric Fetty, like I said, Fetty's the guy who's going to be one of the first ones picked up. I'm gonna put that like a hammer down. I'm guaranteeing that. Eric Fetty will be traded probably within the next 3 to 4 days. Like he's one everybody wants. So someone will get him. All right. So this happened over. Let me go back to home here. 2 days ago, actually came out. The 2025 schedules for all the different teams came out. So I'm looking at Yankees. I gave Beth hers for the Mets, but I'm not looking at that. Now the one game I'm looking at, and I don't know if people, Yankee fans, you know about this yet. The Mets and the Yankees, who are playing tonight in games 3 and 4 tomorrow, have 6 games next year. Finally, we're back to 6 games. The Mets play in Yankee Stadium next year, May 16th, 17th, and 18th. It's a weekend, too. This is the first time in a very long time that the Yankees and Mets have played on a weekend. Like, not only will they fill the seats, they would have filled the seats on the Tuesday and Wednesday. The thing is, people from New Jersey and Connecticut can now go too. Like, it's only usually people from New York that go, or people that can afford to go on a weekday. That's not the common man like myself. Like, we're looking at going to the Citi Field one, and it's a really good day. It's Independence Day, July 4th. Next year is a Friday, and we're early in talks now, maybe Beth, but we would love to go to Citi Field on that Friday and see the Mets and Yankees in Citi Field. You know, if anybody would want to go, anybody who sees this wants to go, you got to contact me. If you're a Mets fan, Yankees fan, you got to contact me. I mean, honestly, I'm not doing, oh, maybe I'll go. No, I want definites. I need to hear definites. Comments from Mr. Start today. Chazz brings the show to the subway. That's not going to happen, bro. Chazz and Frank the Tank. Who's Frank the Tank? I don't think I know Frank the Tank. I love to do an outdoor type event, but first I would need a producer. I need someone who's going to do my audio. I need technical people would have to set me up. I'm the talent. I can do the research, but the setup that's not me. If I'm going to do something outside anywhere, it's not going to be a big venue like that. And sure as hell not going to be in a subway. I'm better off at my kid's school in Pennsylvania than I would be at Citi Field. I'll tell you right now. Big dreams there. Start today. Big dreams. I unfortunately at my age I have to sit in reality. So, like I said, so the schedule's out. I'm definitely looking to go to at least one of these games, if not more, next year. I think I'm done trying to go this year. I do want to go to one more Somerset Patriots. Maybe I'll talk about that if I don't run out of time. I'm trying to get this done before 90 minutes hits. Anyway. Okay, so let me go to this real quick. Go to my email. MLB reports of the Yankees by Brian Hawk from the Yankees and the Mets, Anthony DiComo. So because Beth tells me always that the Yankees are always first on newscasts, I'll do the Mets. I'll do Anthony DiComo's. Mets head to Bronx for Subway Series renewal. What does Anthony DiComo have to say? A regular criticism of the Subway Series is the fact that over the years it's rarely featured that the Yankees and Mets with both teams going well. The stakes have been high for bragging rights around the 5 boroughs, less so for prominence in the American League and the National League. This week's 2-game series, Tuesday and Wednesday at Yankee Stadium, should be a notable exception, featuring major stakes for each side. The Mets, who were enjoying a hot run of play when they first encountered the Yankees on June 25th and 26th, have cooled a bit, but remaining in prime wildcard contention. They're almost certainly going to be trade deadline buyers, but how they play over the next week could determine the depth of help they receive. Now, that's pretty apoplectic for him to say that. That makes sense. The Yankees, meanwhile, have steadied things since the tough run in late June and early July, yet not to the extent that anyone in the Bronx feels comfortable with the recent form. I think I said that in the first 20 minutes of this. Just saying. Anyway, they too must prove their worthiness of deadline help as well as their ability to keep pace with the Orioles in the AL East. Yeah, that's for damn sure. Like I said, you don't have to watch the Yankee not. Let me rephrase. If you watch the Yankees and you watch them somewhat concurrently, like on a daily basis, but you keep up with what they're doing, you could write what he wrote if you sat down and got paid for it. Any one of us could do that. Everything he said, I said over the last 2, if not 3 podcasts. Need more evidence in the Subway Series of the big one when Mets starter. Okay, he's just talking about. We talked about this already with Luis Severino. Right now you have 2 good hitters. Yeah, we know. Anyway, blah blah blah. Quintana. Okay, he's talking about everything we already talked about. So sorry, Tacoma. We already talked about that. Let's go to my buddy Brian Hawk. He puts his out on Monday, so I got to go a little further back. There we go. This has been the bane of my existence as a Yankee fan for a while now. Alex Verdugo enjoyed one of his season highlights on June 14th against the Red Sox. It's July 23rd. It's been a while. Savoring a trot around the bases after clearing the center field wall against his former club at Fenway Park. There haven't been many similar moments for Verdugo to celebrate since then. Duh. Okay, comment. Hey, Aiden's watching. Awesome. What's up, buddy? How you doing? Anyway. Where was I? That surprised me. Aiden, I didn't think you would be watching. I thought you'd be at your show today. I do apologize. So where was it? Okay, so they're having. Okay, I said that. There could be better days ahead, though. Verdugo believes that he and hitting coach James Rousins recently unlocked a mechanical adjustment that could have the club's resident dog barking loudly again. God, I hope so. I'm done with Verdugo striking out, fly out, strike out. I'm done with that. I really am. We're very close. We really are, Verdugo said on Sunday. I'm hitting the ball better. I'm making better contact. Yeah, there's a couple of rollovers to the right side in the infield. In between that, they're not the best to look at, but we're going to trust the process, and it's going to come. I love trusting the process. I get the process. I've known the process. The process also needs to work quicker than you're working it. Is the process in the real world doesn't go that slow. That would be a welcome development for the Yankees, who have struggled to generate offense behind the dynamic duo of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. Like I said, and I'll say this for Aiden. I don't know if Aiden will comprehend this. But, like I said before, you could walk Juan Soto and Aaron Judge tonight twice. And after 4 to 6 innings, Jose Quintana could probably still have a no-hitter. It's theoretically possible with the lineup we're putting in today. It's a bad lineup. Our right-handed batters are not good. I hope, and I know none of them will see this, but I hope they prove me wrong. I really do. Verdugo saw frequent opportunities in the cleanup spot. He did. He doesn't belong in the cleanup spot. I honestly don't know who belongs in it other than Giancarlo Stanton, who, for the simple fact, is obviously still hurt, but he needs to get back quicker than quick. Do I think Soto's going to stay? Let me get to that before I'll get to what you said. I do have a comment on that. It's never been really a topic. I'm glad you're bringing that topic up. So, do I think Soto's going to stay? Honestly, I do. He's proven he can do it here. That's number one. Number two, he looks like he's having fun. He looks like he's forming a deep friendship with Aaron Judge. And the fans do love him. The fans are growing on him. I have no, like, right field. I think he loves right field and playing right field. Like, for me, I think he's gonna stay. I think given the right number, and I think the Yankees brass will do that. They have almost no choice. They're going to get lambasted in the media and by the fans if they don't do this. And God help you, Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, if you lose him to the New York Mets. And I know Aiden and Starts Today, you're both Mets fans. I get it. But as a Yankee fan, losing that kind of player to a crosstown rival, even though we're not necessarily rivals, but a crosstown team, we can't lose that guy as a Yankee fan. We can't. That was probably a couple minutes, and or that's almost 2 minutes of speak right there. I might put this out. That's a good question, and that I need to get that out to the world that Soto needs to stay. We build around Judge and Soto and Cole to build a better tomorrow. I'm going to steal something from Disney. We're going to build around them to build a better tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, as I pontificate. Speaking of Stanton, Verdugo saw frequent opportunities in the cleanup spot, which manager Aaron Boone admitted as a result of the lineup being thin without designated hitter Giancarlo Stanton, who appears to be moving closer to a return from the 10-day DL. Hurrah! Sorry. From his left hamstring strain. Trust me, as 47, I'm starting to feel pains. I know about these different pains. Let me get back to my banner before I forget. Yes, there we go. Sure. And then still Boone moved catcher Wells into the cleanup. See, I like Wells better than anybody else. Wells is he's there, and his left-handed power is developing and will develop. I think he's the number one catcher. I truly do. He was two for a while, but I think he's one now. He's won that one spot. We haven't had a lefty since Jorge Posada when he was a switch hitter. We need Wells and whoever else can back him up. That's what we need. Hell, I think there's someone I heard from the White Sox, he's on the White Sox now. He's like a 37-year-old catcher. He's about to be DFA'd. I don't know his name, but he used to be Garrett Cole's catcher in Houston. If they DFA him, pick him up. Bring him to the Yankees. Make him Wells' backup. He only catches Garrett Cole. I'm okay with this. And anything, you make Wells the DH of that game. And therefore, when you take that catcher out, or you take Cole out, you put Wells in as catcher. And we're good. That's just how I'd play it, at least for a little while. He goes on about from June 15th. That's depressing. I don't want to talk about from June 15th. There's some bad stuff after June 15th. Luck hasn't exactly been on Verdugo's side either, with the bases loaded in the first inning on Sunday. Yeah, I missed that game, thankfully. Verdugo ripped a 102.7-mile-an-hour line drive that landed in the first baseman's glove. Guess what? That happens all the time. Breathe, Charlie. Breathe. They're getting too complacent. Hunter, if you see this, I'm begging you, don't get complacent in your hitting. If you hit it so hard, but you hit it to somebody, it is what it is. You try again to the next time. You try to find a hole in the infield, or you hit it over the infield. I'm going to implore this onto you. I'm going to, because these idiots on the Yankees, they're sometimes mindless. They really are. What do you think on the Mets should do about pitching? If you can grab one of those pitchers I said before, go for it. It won't hurt. I promise you that it won't hurt. I mean, Crochet and or Fetty, those are good pitchers. If you can grab them, if you can give enough up to get them, that's the key. Do you have enough? Is the question. I don't know who's in Syracuse right now. I don't know who's playing for the Rough Riders. They're actually playing on the 11th in Somerset, 9th, 10th, and 11th of August. I'm crossing my fingers to try to get tickets to go see them. Actually, if I'm correct, it'll also be the time we have the boys. So, boys, maybe you'll be coming with us to watch them. For that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we might be able to get tickets, boys. Just so you know, so you could actually see the Mets Double A versus the Yankees Double A. You know, cross your fingers, Aiden. Let's see if we can get these tickets. Anyway, all right. So I think that's enough. That he goes on and on and on and on. Okay. Since start today, since you're watching, let's see if you can get this question. I got a trivia question for you, and I know you're good at trivia questions. Another comment? I hope so. Yes. Yes, indeed. I think you'll love that game, Aiden. I really do. I really do. Start today. Here's the question. 3 players in Major League history have homered in 8 consecutive games. Which of the following players have not? So we're looking for who hasn't done it. Is it A, Barry Bonds, B, Ken Griffey Jr., C, Dale Long, or D, Don Mattingly? Who has not hit for a home run in 8 straight games? The answer is interesting. Aiden, I'll even let you try. A, B, C, or D. Who do you think? Do you even know any of those players? Barry Bonds, Don Mattingly. I know you definitely don't know Long. And Ken Griffey Jr. We have a comment. Let's see who has the answer. So you think Don Mattingly is the answer? You'd be incorrect. He has 8 in a row. It's kind of iconic, actually, because he's the only man who didn't do it. I don't know, but I'm gonna guess D. Yeah, well, D is Don Mattingly, Aiden, as well. The answer, shockingly, is Barry Bonds. Last week marked the anniversary of Don Mattingly homering in his 8th consecutive game on July 18th, 1987. And weirdly enough, it was in a 7-2 loss to the Rangers. Mattingly tied a record previously held by Long in 1956 and tied Griffey Jr. in 1993. Bonds came close in 2004, but only had 7. So it's a good guess, but it was Bonds of all the people that in the world. All right, so this actually happened this week, and I should talk a little bit about it before I get on to everything else. Baseball's Hall of Fame, and on the ESPN David Schoenfeld's report, it says Baseball Hall of Fame 2024, why Beltre, Helton, and Mauer got in. So Baseball Hall of Famers for this year that exceeded the 75% threshold required by the Baseball Writers Association of America to gain entry into Cooperstown are Adrian Beltre, Joe Mauer, and Todd Helton. So why is Adrian Beltre a Hall of Famer? Beltre became a free agent after 2009 following his 5 seasons with the Seattle Mariners after starting his career with the Los Angeles Dodgers. He finished his age 30 season 265, 304, 379. Not Hall of Fame worthy, that's for sure. He had been a good player in Seattle, and he enjoyed a monster 2004 season where he finished second in MVP voting in LA, but he wasn't exactly in high demand coming off of that rough walk year and settled for a 1-year contract with the Boston Red Sox. Well, he missed out on that, but the Boston Red Sox won the year before in 2004. So he was on the 05 team that didn't win. But his career did turn around in Boston. He hit 321, 28 home runs, 49 doubles, and signed a big deal with Texas. So yeah, he was in Texas for 8 years. That's where he really won, in my opinion. He finished his career with 3,166 hits, 477 home runs, 1,707 RBIs, 5 Gold Gloves, and is 26th among position players because he played outfield for WAR. We know that WAR is wins above replacement at 93.5. He's the 26th rated of all time. That would put him in for me, no doubt. I would question where Don Mattingly is compared to that. I would wonder where Barry Bonds is compared to that. And I'm going to add one because I saw something, and people can laud me all they want if they disagree with me. I would even, at this point, put in Mark McGwire, and I'll say why. You can't say someone did drugs when it wasn't illegal. If it was illegal, then that's fine. But when he took what he took when he took it, it wasn't illegal. And you can't say you caught him doing it any other time. That's the problem. And then trying to answer for that, because they know, is that if they say, yes, we did it at one point, oh, then you're a drug user. And that's incorrect. Just like Pete Rose gambled on games in baseball. That's a no-no. As a manager, there's no proof he did it as a player. Pete Rose needs to be in the Hall of Fame over anybody else, over Barry Bonds, over Alex Rodriguez, over Mark McGwire. Pete Rose needs to be in. I get you don't want him talking, but he shouldn't be in posthumously either. That's you want to put him in when he's 80 years old and he can't talk too much? Fine. I get you don't want the lifestyle that he had, but you also have to think about this. That's the way Charlie Hustle played. And that's what you promoted back in the 70s. I'll leave it at that. That's my take on Pete Rose. I could probably do a whole one day about Pete Rose and have a whole bunch of stuff that I could talk about. And I wasn't even a Reds fan. I wasn't a Phillies fan. I'm a Pete Rose fan. I'm a Charlie Hustle fan. I'm going to show Hunter how Pete Rose played. That's how you play baseball. That's how some guys do still play baseball. Pete Rose as well. I love it. He was great. Yes, he was. I started watching baseball in 1984. He was practically done in 1984. But as a historian that I like to think that I am, I know enough that he was that good. All right, I'm missing the others. Hold on. I should talk about the other guys. Oh, that's the Hall of Fame voting. Okay. Banner. Yeah, that just gave the banner of the players. So Beltre actually got 95% of the vote in his first bout. So yeah, he was a strong player in his first round. One of the few, no doubt. And it was unfortunate for Todd Helton and Joe Mauer. It took a couple years to get them up there. Todd Helton, we all know him as a Rocky, first baseman, if I remember correctly. Joe Mauer, catcher, then first baseman for the Twins. He might have went somewhere else. I want to say Giants. But yeah, Helton got 79%. Mauer got 76. Billy Wagner was 5 votes away at 73. Wagner should get in next year. Another one who could come close, Sheffield could get in. He's another one of those Bonds guys. Because he's in, if I'm correct, he's related to Bond somehow. But who probably will get in, and because he's got 61% and he's got years to go, and he could do it even next year. I'll call it Andrew Jones from the Braves. He's been on long enough. He should get on. Yeah, next two below that are Carlos Beltran and Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez has got 34.8%. There needs to be a lot more people voting for him. I'm sorry, I get it. But 697 home runs, that's something. I'm going to get aggravated. I meant more to talk about the Olympics than baseball today. Comment. I lived when Pete jumped in as a hitter when he was a manager. That would be 86. That was his last. He was a player manager, which you don't really see anymore. That's not a thing you see in 2024. I think the last time you saw that was 1986. I don't think, because remember, he got busted in 87 when he stopped playing. He was a manager, and that was that. So that means you're a couple years younger than me, and that's fine. You saw what you saw, and that was cool. Like, I do remember that. 86 was the year the Mets won. I was a fan of Darryl. I was a fan of Dwight. I watched Channel 9. I watched Tim McCarver and Ralph Kiner, and I'm probably forgetting somebody else. But I loved Kiner's Corner, and Darryl was always on. Dwight was always on when he pitched. Wally Backman was the everyday guy, and he was not as crazy as he is now. Timmy Tuffle was the small little shortstop, not the big, 50-year-old monster that he is now. So that was the team I was a fan of back then. But yeah, so good for those three to get into the Hall of Fame this year. Hopefully we'll get some more coming up. We'll talk about that obviously down the road. I think they come back out in January, but we'll be in the middle of football. So, okay, where am I at? Okay, so let me get off the Baseball Hall of Fame, and we're going to go look at a little NFL. Let's see. There we go. News and notes. NFL news and notes. So, I did see Giants episode 3. Hard Knocks, and it's just before the draft. It's all the combine stuff, and also the preview for week 4. I might give a spoiler or two. I apologize. I'm just saying what I saw. I'm giving commentary on what I saw. So I'm very happy as a Giants fan to see what I saw, and confident that my team's, bosses and the team, the people who work with the general manager, Joe Shane, are doing the right thing. In my heart, in my soul, in my head, I have to feel they're doing the right thing. And they do know that they're paying, $40 million to their quarterback that has been hurt every year for the last 4 years. But this is the year he has to do it. If he doesn't, he's done. And I'm good with that. It's a business. Football's a business, just as everything we do in life after you turn 21 and get your college degree, or you just go out right to work. It's a business. So these Philadelphia Eagles who keep chirping about, how Saquon Barkley was disenchanted or pained or hurt. He got $17 million a year. He got $28 million guaranteed. Please tell me where he got hurt. Oh, because the Giants didn't offer it? Because he didn't get to stay with the Giants for 2 more years and get in the Ring of Honor? which I'm going to say this. Think about this. It's happened before and it'll happen again. You can't tell me he's not coming back to the Giants in a couple of years. That's why I'm not getting rid of that jersey. He's coming back. It's just a matter of time. He wants that Ring of Honor. He's waiting for the Giants to get good. That's what he's waiting for. He'll take the less money down the road when the Giants are good. That's I'm God's honest truth. That's what I'm thinking in my back of my head. We'll see him in 2 or 3 years. He'll have his money, and now he'll want to win because let's see if he wins with the Eagles. That'll be interesting. Anyway, so that was that. This week now upcoming tonight, I believe, which I won't be able to see because of the game, is the draft. So tonight's going to be a good one, the draft. All right. So NFL training camp is here. Biggest storylines, roster projections, and previews for all 32 teams. That's going to take forever. I'm at an hour, so we're not going to do all of that. But so since Start Today is a Falcons fan, I will look up the Falcons. Wouldn't that be nice? Start Today. Let's see. Teams. Here we go. Teams. Let's look up Atlanta and see what Atlanta's articles are about. Okay, so apparently there's a podcast you can watch Start Today that's specific to your Falcons team. It's called Carla and Joe, or Carla versus Joe. Carla? I think it. Oh, no. Duh. It's Carlin versus Joe. Chris Carlin, if I'm correct. And they talk about the Falcons. Very interesting. So let's see. Which teams have never won a Super Bowl? Well, Falcons obviously is one of them. Will Kirk Cousins help Kyle Pitts return to form? That you'd hope. That we'd hope. My favorite halfback? How about this? Does this answer your question? I know Aiden will get that, but I think Start Today you might. Number 21. What was his name? TJ Duckett? Who? Wow, I remember that guy, but I wouldn't. No. No, who was number 21? The Bird. Who did the Dirty Bird? That was my favorite guy. He'd be in there. He'd get in there, and after he scored a touchdown, he'd do the Dirty Bird. Come on, dude. You got to know this one. Because I can't remember. It wasn't my team, so I didn't remember. But I remember that. It was around the time I think he played with Dion, too. Jamal Anderson, that's correct. And then what I did, Aiden loves that I did that. You know what, Aiden? When I see you this weekend, I will show you Jamal Anderson. Here we go. He spelled him incorrectly. That's okay. It's Jamal without the U. But Jamal Anderson was number 21. He was called the Dirty Bird. And he would, and every time he scored, he'd flap his wings. It was kind of funny. So yeah, that was probably my favorite. Okay, let's see what else. So 53-man roster projection. I'm not even sure you want to hear that. Let's see. Obviously, Kirk Cousins and Michael Penix Jr. will be your quarterbacks. Apparently, ESPN thinks you're going to keep Heineke on your team too. That's interesting. Of course, I remember Chris Chandler. Yeah, I remember him. It wasn't the best quarterback, but it wasn't the worst either. Running backs. Okay, so it says you're keeping 4, but this is the one you want to keep, and this is what's going to keep you guys, in contention. Bijan Robinson. That's the guy is going to keep you guys, probably very high in that NFC South. Wide receivers. You got 3 good ones and an okay one out of the 6. Drake London, good. Darnell Mooney, very good. Rondell Moore, very good. Ray McLeod III. That's a name. That is an absolute name. Tight ends. Kyle Pitts. Okay. And then offensive line. Lindstrom, Matthews, McGarry, Bergeron, Dahlman, Norton. Decent guys. That's probably going to be the concern on your offense. Honestly, that's going to be your concern. And defensive linemen, Grady Jarrett, David Onyemata, Zach Harrison, Rook Anahoro. Heard a couple of these. Not too bad. Your linebackers are studs. Caden Ellis, Lorenzo Carter, Arnold Beckety, and Troy Anderson. You got some good studs on that team, on the linebacker core. Your cornerbacks, I can't say I've heard of them, but I've heard of this guy. Your safety, Jesse Bates III. I've heard of him, and he was a massive free agent pickup. I do remember Bates. You got one of the better kickers too. That's going to be helpful for you. Young Ho Koo. That's not a name that most people know, but I bet you Start Today does. Young Ho Koo is one of probably the top 3 kickers in the league. He's in fantasy. He's one of the top 3 kickers picked. There's no doubt. He can kick from long distance. It helps he kicks inside a dome, and he's got 8 games in that dome generally. So that we'll see. I'm curious. Let me see my Giants. Let's see if there's any talk of the Giants. I better be signed in. I'm following. Of course I am. New York Giants training camp preview. All eyes on Daniel Jones. Of course it is. That I could. No offense to you, Aiden or Hunter. You could have wrote that line. All eyes on Daniel Jones. That's a duh. Another duh. I'm gonna have to come up with a better word than duh. Giants 53-man rotation roster projection. Who replaces Saquon Barkley? That's easy. I want to see who he says, but to me that's easy. It's the running back. He doesn't say it. The group is so thin on experience behind Singletary. Okay, so I'll grant him that. He's right. Devin Singletary is the guy with Eric Gray, Tyrone Tracy, and Jacob Sailors. Here's the thing. They might be thin, but they are going to get play. Which means if they're going to get play, they're going to either get good or be bad. And that's what preseason's for. So we'll see. I'm curious. That's going to be a feature to watch with the running backs for the Giants. Not worried about the quarterbacks. It's Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy DeVito. The fact that Tommy DeVito is still here is crazy. Tommy DeVito is one of our quarterbacks. He might never leave. Like he's probably going to get buried under Giant Stadium too. Anyway, now it's MetLife Stadium. Sorry. But okay, so then they got tight ends. Tight ends before wide receivers. That's interesting. So tight ends. Daniel Bellinger, not thrilled. Theo Johnson, Lawrence Cager. Cager was second. He's now third. Chris Manhertz. I like the name Manhertz. Let's see if he can do something. Wide receivers, obviously our number 6 pick, Malik Neighbors. He's got to be number 1. He's our slot guy. With Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt. And Hyatt's moving up on that list. I tell you, you got 2 of the fastest guys. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see that. And you still got Isaiah Hodgins on the team. Not a bad number 5. And Bryce Ford Wheaton and Gunnar Ozlowski can play. These guys have been with the Giants already they've been in the system. I'm excited. Of course, I was excited last year, and I said the Giants would go 14-3, yeah. I said the Giants would go 14-3, and they went 6-9. Yeah, I got reamed for that one. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure you remember that one. Start today. I don't know if you were watching at that point. Offensive line. This is the absolute one that needs to get fixed. Andrew Thomas, John Runyon, Jermaine Ulamar. Those last two were free agent pickups. John Michael Schmitz, who's been here. Evan Neal, who's got drafted here. Joshua Ezuadu, Aaron Stinney, and Jimmy Morrissey. Those last three are probably practice squad guys who moved up. Let's hope, cross our fingers, we all figure this out. We need to block for Daniel Jones. Plain and simple. My defense, I love it. I love it. We should be top 5, if not number 1. That defense are studs on top of studs on top of studs. And I know that's a dirty, weird thing to hear, but they are. They're all studs. Brian Burns, Kevin Thibodeau, Aziz Olazari, Boogie Basham, Bobby Oker. Wow, I can't say his name. He's on my team. Okarick, I said it wrong, was number 1 last year over Thibodeau. He's now number 5. So we got a good core. Plus, you put the defensive line. I said defensive line. I meant linebackers first. The defensive linemen of Dexter Lawrence II, Raheem Nunez, Jordan Riley, Jordan Phillips, Ryder Anderson. I'm good with those inside out guys. What's going to be interesting is our cornerbacks and our safeties. We lost our big one. But now that means step up. Deontay Banks, you're number 1. You do it. You got it done. Cordell Flott, Nick McLeod, Trey Hawkins III, Drew Phillips. Those last two, Trey Hawkins III, Drew Phillips, came up big last year. They can move more. That's what they need to do. And then safeties, Jason Pinnock, Tyler Nubin, Dane Belton, Isaiah Simmons, and Jalen Mills. These are guys that can do those roles, be those nickels, be those safeties. It's going to be fun to watch. I truly cannot wait. Specialists. We still got Graham Gano. We still got Jamie Gillen. So I'm excited for the Giants. I really am. Okay. I should have Googled this before. Where's my Google? There we go. This next thing. So that's news and notes. Okay. So I was watching this, and I'm hoping at some point to get Beth's godson, Sam, to start watching me. I hope. This kid is an interesting kid, and it's becoming a big sport to watch. I might actually start talking about this more depending on how much I start to watch this. Jeff Teat has been called the Wayne Gretzky of professional lacrosse. I looked this guy up and I have to talk about him. I got a comment. Sorry, I didn't see you. Everyone's searching for a buck and a dime. Yeah. Well, here I'm guessing you're talking about our defense. Yes. Yeah, everyone is. I get it. Anyway, so Jeff Teat, he's apparently in what's called the NLL, but he's also in the PLL. Okay, the Professional Lacrosse League. NLL, that team that drafted him is the New York Riptide. And he's also played for another New York team in the Premier League. It's hard to find. I almost would want to get Sam to talk about this more. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if he watches, and he just got into college. Sam, he lived in Long Island, did well enough to get a scholarship to it's in the top of my head. It's in Pennsylvania. I think it's a friend of mine went to that school. It'll come back to me, but Sam's up there. He's in his freshman year, and he's got a scholarship for lacrosse. And I would love for him to talk about this Jeffrey Stephen Teat, who is a Canadian lacrosse player for the Atlas Club of the Premier League. The Atlas Club is the PLL that I was talking about. He is one of 3 players in lacrosse history to be selected first in both the NLL, PLL, and MLL drafts. I wish I knew what that meant, but it's okay. So the MLL, he got drafted in 2020, Boston Cannons, NLL draft, New York Riptide, and then PL team as Atlas. So they had the PLL on ABC on Saturday, and it was an interesting thing to watch. And unfortunately, New York lost, but Jeff Teat, it wasn't. He was getting kind of double teamed every once in a while. But like I'm gonna start following him, and this one guy I'm gonna watch to see does this moniker fit. Like you just can't make people goats. You have to be, have a thing about that. It has to be something. Okay. That's that's I can get out of that. Okay. Let's talk about this. WWE SummerSlam is on August 3rd in Cleveland. Some of the matches that have been set already. Here we go. Damian Priest versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship match. I am picking Damian to win that. I'm hoping for it, but we'll see. Next match, WWE Women's Champion Bayley versus the Queen, Nia Jax, who won Queen of the Ring. I think this is unfortunate. I think Nia Jax wins. I think Nia Jax will kind of do as she says and will destroy Bayley. I got 2 comments. Okay, let's see what we say. I got all these LOL, Jello. I don't know what you're talking about, dude. Are you driving and texting? I don't know. What is Jello? What is all these L? You talking about what I said with the lacrosse stuff? Probably. It's a lot of L's. It's a lot of lacrosse. Anyway, as I was saying, we got the women's world champion Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. Now, I'll talk about this now. I could have talked about this during my next segment, but I'm not going to. I think Rhea's winning this back. She never technically lost it. Liv kind of won it, and I mean, when she won, how she won it was not, a bad thing. But I think just Rhea as the champ, and maybe, in my opinion, I think, Priest and Rhea need to readjust the family that they have with hold on. Yeah, okay. So I mean what I was saying, I don't want to define it more, but I do think Rhea Ripley's winning that. Uh I can't think of the team name. This is the stuff that blocks my head. Anyway, the one thing with the Gunther and Damian Priest match, which I definitely think Damian's winning, is that Damian just wants it more. I think Gunther's a tough guy, but Damian wants it more. Okay. Let's see. And then next, we got the undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. I can't imagine Cody Rhodes losing to Solo. Not yet. I mean, SummerSlam maybe, but we're not here. Like it just does. I mean, not SummerSlam. I think Survivor Series is closer to where he might, if he were to lose it. That's where you want Cody Rhodes to go for a little longer. I'm thinking in WWE, and you don't want Solo as your head. I'm telling you, you don't. That's a bad head to have. It really is. I don't know how many people were gonna follow that. And then United States champion Logan Paul versus LA Knight. Now, I'm not opposed to Logan Paul staying champion. I don't like it, But I do think at some point you need to give LA Knight a championship. I mean, the man has been doing it in and out, similar to Cody Rhodes. A U.S. title is not the end of the world. Everybody's had a U.S. title that's been a mainstay guy. So it couldn't hurt for LA to win. Just saying that, Paul. I doubt you're listening, but do I cover any UFC? Sorry, start today. It's not my cup of tea. It really isn't. If ever I could get Mary or Colin, and Colin's actually watched me before. I'm not sure if you've communicated with Colin, start today. Colin is my now brother-in-law. They watch UFC. I will bequeath them a banner or two or time to talk about it. If you want, I can try to make that happen, but I don't know their schedules to come on around 8 o'clock. Like, definitely not 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock would be way too early. But 8 o'clock, I don't know. And SmackDown wasn't great. This back-to-back with what is it? The Bloodline. Week 1, week 2, taking out Randy Orton, taking out Kevin Owens with Cody watching. That's why I think Cody's gonna win. Like, Cody's not gonna let this crap get a hold of him. He's just not. All right, another comment. Any weather from your friend? I thought doesn't look like she's on today. I can't push her. I didn't go on Facebook, so I other than yesterday when I said this was going to be earlier, so I didn't get a hold of her. She's probably going to look at 8 o'clock thinking I'm on, and it is what it is. She's not a sports person, so I'm not expecting her to understand that. So, like I said, okay, I was going to talk about something else, but I'll leave that for another day. I do have this real quick. I got 10 minutes. I want to get this done in 10 minutes. Emmy nominations. I'm not going to go over a lot of them. The primetime Emmy nominations were announced this week to be aired on September 15th, 8 p.m. Okay, you know what? I can hold these off until maybe September 15th, because that is something that can be talked about then. Okay. The New Jersey Hall of Fame. I do want to talk about this real quick. We had a list of 18 inductees. Let's see if any people we know. So, not someone you would know. The chairman emeritus of UEU Screen Gems Limited and visionary who built industry-leading entertainment service, George Cooney, not Clooney, but Cooney of Bogota. Oh, look at that. The philanthropist and founder of Jersey Mike's franchise system, Peter Cancro. If you don't know who the head of Jersey Mike's is, look him up. He's been on everything. He's in like a bunch of different advertisements he's in. Warren Littlefield. If you don't know him, look the name up. He was the NBC president during the time of Must See TV and specifically Seinfeld. Like, Warren Littlefield is a big name in that 80s into 90s late night war too. Comment. We have. It's going into hurricane. Yeah, well, I know it's hurricane season, but we haven't had a hurricane yet. Maybe she'll be on next week. It's definitely possible she'll be on next week. Oh, okay. Three big names. I got 3 big names going in. Paul Rudd from Passaic. Go figure. Paul Rudd. I did not know he was from New Jersey. Kevin Smith of Red Bank as director. I have a question. How is Kevin Smith not in yet? He should have been in years ago. I'm gonna have to one of these days look up into the New Jersey Hall of Fame, which is actually now in American Dream. So if you want to pay the $20 to get into that damn place and go see this place, you can. And I think it's 20. Don't quote me on that. And the last person, this is probably the biggest name. I haven't gotten through the rest of them yet. Meryl Streep from Bernardsville. I did not know she was from New Jersey at all. Okay, I was wrong on biggest name. I don't think she's the biggest name. The biggest name, and I think starts today, you might agree, for New Jersey. The biggest name is this NFL player who played for the Giants in the late 80s. Answer? Phil Simms from Franklin Lake. Also another NFL player, Ron Johnson of Madison, who played for the University of Michigan, All-Pro for the Giants twice. So he's a lower named Giant that I didn't know. Tim Howard, a soccer player, the name I've heard of. He's from New Brunswick. Howard is a former goalkeeper for the United States men's team, regarded as one of the greatest All-American players of all time. That's something to be put into the Hall of Fame for. So 18 different people going into the Hall of Fame. And honestly, didn't know New Jersey had a Hall of Fame. That's pretty interesting. 2 more comments. How isn't... Dude, I just started this, okay? If I can get bigger, and I'm talking about thousands of followers, up until I have to, you know where I got to be? You get me to where the Kelseys are, and I'm talking about anything and everything, and I have a producer, and I all I got to do is talk, and I talk about the stuff I want to talk about, then I think I could be worthy to get in. I've done nothing else, at least not worthy of acknowledgement that I can see. It's a nice goal, but it's not even a goal I'm going to even write down. There have to be so many things for me to move up to do that. Although, and I will talk about this, there is another Hall of Fame that is putting somebody in this house in their Hall of Fame. And she did do something back in the 1990s. And when I get all the information on that, I will talk about that. Now, and to answer this question, Jon Stewart. Well, first off, you named the wrong John. It's Jon Stewart. And I don't know. I could look it up. Maybe down the road I will. He should be in too. I agree. He is from New Jersey. I don't know if he's in. That's a man that probably should be in. Okay. So people might be interested, maybe not. If you know things about me, one of the things I haven't done, and I did the math on this, 14 years. I haven't played in a physical baseball/softball game in 14 years. Not when I was 33 years old, which was, let's see, 14 years ago from now, 2010. 2010 was the last time and people who know this, I'll shout them out if they ever watch it. Dave Pulaski and my coach, which I'm drawing a blank now. Let's put it this way. Long story short, I played on a baseball league when I was 33 years old. It was a fast pitch league, and they needed players. And I knew this guy, Dave, from up the street from me, who was playing. So I said, I still got something. I felt like I still had something. I practiced here and there, but he only had me hit. After the first game, the coach wanted the kid to play first, not me. And I looking back, I hate to say coach made a mistake on that, but it is what it is. I can't Monday morning quarterback it. I could have played first so much better than that kid. The kid had about 6 errors in that whole season. It was only like a 7-game season, 8-game season. The kid had a lot of errors. He at 33, I was more nimble then to play first base than that 18-year-old that was playing it. But yeah, so I'll get to the comments in a minute. This past Sunday, I went outside, got the bat up, I swung, did a couple swings. Okay, this shoulder and this shoulder gave me a pain you wouldn't believe. I've been rotating these shoulders ever since. But anyway, as I was saying, what am I doing in Roselle at Wanaco Park? The park is called Wanaco Park, and it's at 12 o'clock noon at Wanaco Park. I don't know the park, but I have it circled on a map. I'm playing softball with my Kerry coworkers. And yeah, that's going to be interesting, to say the least. Let's see. Comments. Yes, Aiden. 4 years before you were born, I was playing in a softball game. Yeah. Actually, there's a picture I may have shown you boys. I don't know if you remember it. And so today, it's on my Facebook page. You'd have to go deep into my photos on my Facebook page. I was in my uniform, okay, and I played for a team called the Braves, and I was skinnier then, and damn it, I look good, okay. I was in this outfit, and I'll tell you this much. I just saw the comment. Hold on. Start today. Did I ever hit a home run? When I was 10. Check that. 9 years old. When I was 8 and 9 years old, I played it in what's called Cap League. I remember this from way back when. I played on the Dodgers, but we had green uniforms. I had, if I remember correctly, 4 home runs in my first year of Cap League and 7 in my second. And if that's correct, the 7 were hit very far. We didn't have a fence. That was the other thing. So the 7 were the 11 that I got in 2 years were because I ran fast enough to get to home plate before the kids got the ball back. There was a field in Eatontown called Woodmere Field. I remember this to this day. And for what I remember, where the fence was, because they almost basically lost the ball. If you hit it over that fence, it wasn't a home run. It was a ground rule double. I remember that rule being stupid, but it was a rule. I couldn't say anything at 8 or 9 years old. Now at 10 years old, I went to Little League. You know what my batting average was? 0. You know what my OBP was? 350. I walked a lot. And then I also got hit. I had bruises left and right. The worst, and I'll call him out because I don't think he'll ever watch this. Scott Finney, who lived up the street from me at the time in Eatontown, threw a pitch right in the side of my left tuchus. I had the biggest brown bruise you could ever have possibly saw. Does Wanaco Park have ducks? Well, you spelled it incorrectly, so you're not from the Roselle area. It's Winaco. Winnaco. Winaco. It's in Roselle. It's like the border of Roselle and Elizabeth. If you know it, I don't know if they have ducks. It looks like they might because there is a lake there. So, but now, like I said, my boys will be there. Aiden and Hunter will be watching. Beth will have her phone up to make sure I don't die. And that will be that. Oh, I'm already over an hour and a half. All right, let's finish up this. So I had kept this up. This is happening this week. I might be going, boys, we might be going to this on either Saturday night or Sunday. $10 per adult. Children under 12 and veterans are free. That'll be fun if we go, Aiden and Hunter. Okay, that's that. Okay. I want to talk about this before I go. Let me see if I could share this. So, because I haven't touched it in a while. Okay. You can read it. It's easy to read. Chazz's 2024-2025 NFL Confidence Football Pool email will be around Monday. I wrote Monday? I'm an idiot. Let me, hold on. I need to edit. Sunday. There we go. Save. Okay, let's show that. There we go. Sunday, July 29th. If you know anyone who might be interested, email me at chazzroyalty.com. I'm going to show you the site. But before that, I have 2 comments. I used to do hand in the cove. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. Hey, Bri, what's up, dude? Yeah, it does sound painful. Dude, you have, I mean, I know you're a little older than me, Brian, but like I said, I haven't done anything physical like that, and I got a pain back here now. Like, I don't know where that's from. That started today. But let me share this. I want to present, share screen. Yes. Window. Share. Okay. This is what this looks like. This is we're going back to I'm going back to Pool Host, okay, where you see 37 participants. That's how many people participated last year. Week 1 picks, okay. That's on. I can't even point. There we go. Yeah. Well, you see J Cool 9 Fury. He was the Week 1 leader and season leader from last year. So, but it will change once it changes over. There, you can see on the pool deadline. This pool deadline is 8/20 on 9/5/2024. That's 44 days, 1 hour, and 42 minutes to go. That's how long we have to wait. Another comment. Hi, Brian. That's funny. What's up, Start today? That's pretty cool. Everybody's saying hi to each other. That's nice. Anyway, so I've already put my manager's message on here. I said 2024-2025 NFL season is upon us. I hope everyone has had a great summer. We are back with 44 days and counting to start the 2024-2025 NFL season. A poll is up. Football is on the horizon, and the pool is active. An email will be sent out around the 29th. I have already sent a confidence pool email out. So if you played last year, you've already got an email sent to you now. So this is what the pool looks like, and this is what the front page looks like of the pool. This picture will change. I kind of like it. If you see it, if you can see what it is, it's Al Sharir from the Niners from like 2 years ago. Might be 2, maybe 3. Sacking Tom Brady, and it looks like he's got him in a choke. And Tom Brady does not look very good. So I love that picture for weird reasons. Have you ever run fantasy? I've run one, and I was in one for 2 years on somebody else's, which I'm probably dropping out of. I may run one this year. We will see. I'm not confident. Give me a week, maybe 2, to figure out. I might do I would do a different fantasy in a different hub altogether. Probably like CBS Sports or ESPN. I will do one of the 2. Or Office Stop. I hear Office Stop is pretty good. I didn't like the way they did the NCAA. Or a league, dude. I've been running. What I'm showing you right now is what I've been running for the last 5-6 years. Okay, I've had it as low. Actually, I can't say 5-6. I've run it for, I'd say, 10 to 12, but it stopped for a while. Like, I used to do this when it was on paper. And I had, and Vito Ruffino and Mike Pazinski and those guys from Rufino's, when Rufino's existed, know how many people were in this pool where I was actually writing, correcting like I was a teacher. Yahoo Fantasy used to be good. That's what I was. That's what I've been on for the last 2 years. I like it. I just don't like the guy who running it. He ticked me off last year. Long story short, so I'm not doing that again. You know, it's hard to get me upset, other than like sports stuff. But when you get me upset in a league like that where I'm paying $150 for the season, and you tick me off, we're done. Don't piss me off. It's not pretty. Anyway, so this is basically everything. They got up here. This is the home. This is pool home, and you got pool tools. Oh, this is for me. You won't see pool tools. This is creating joy in public. This is what you see as a pool person in this confidence pool. Make and change your picks. View picks. Add a pick sheet. Rename a pick sheet and delete a pick sheet. You can delete your own, but you can also rename one too. And you can add one. When you add one, that means you're adding a whole nother player, which means that's another fee. Okay? And I do have the pool poll up. If you can't read it, I'll say it right here. Raise the pool to $10 per week with a side pot of 20, which equals $200 for the season. Or keep the pool to $5 per week with a side pot of $10, which equals $100. There's 3 choices. Raise the pool. B, keep the pool. Or C, something else altogether, which means you email me what you think it should be. Pretty simple, I think. Comment. No, don't. The only one who can get away with it is probably cooking my dinner right now. That's the only one that can get away with it. Brian will agree with me. That's the only person in this house that can get away with ticking me off. Anyway, so like I said, I'm either going to raise the pool or keep the pool as is, or you're going to give me something else to think about. I need this all done before August 9th. Friday, August 9th at midnight. Couple reasons on that. Number one, I'm giving y'all 2 weeks to figure this out. 37 people shouldn't be too hard to figure out what we want, $10 a week or $20 a week. What about me? Aiden, if you want to be in the pool, that's fine, but you got to ask your mom first. Just because you're 10 doesn't mean you can get in. That could be not. I don't know. I don't think I could put a 10-year-old in. Although, hold on. If I remember correctly, this is going back years. I think Rich Coffee put his 11-year-old daughter in the pool. So theoretically, I could do it, Aiden. We'll see. We'll talk about it. Another comment? What's for dinner? I have no clue, dude. SpaghettiOs? No, she cooks. She doesn't just put out SpaghettiOs. Anyway, so this is what I'm saying. This is a fun league. There's money. There is good money involved if you do well. Like I said, I need to know within the next 2 weeks. I want my emails blowing up with people, like my friends, texting me, emailing me, calling me. We're in. We got other people. I want to get this big. Minimum 50. I want minimum 50. So whether it's $5 a week or $10 a week, we'll figure it out. 3 comments. I bet you one of them is Beth. Let's see. Nope. That's not what I was talking. Aiden. Okay. So if you still want to do the picks, we can do the picks. I have no problem with that. I'm going to do a different format than I did last year. Last year was kind of quirky. We'll see. Yeah, but Aiden, don't worry. You'll get to do the picks. Maybe you'll be more educated this year than you were last year. Pay attention to what Daddy says once in a while. I'm somebody you might want to listen to. Just saying. I'm what? I'm having coffee for dinner. Well, that's not a good dinner, dude. Not a good dinner. So, like I said, guys, it's been up here long enough. I'm at an hour 45. Beth's probably going nuts. Okay. Quick birthdays. Let me get this. Let me stop sharing this. Remove. There we go. Quick birthdays. Danny Kleisler. I used to work with at Acme. Happy birthday. Joseph Skivovecci. I'm almost positive you were in my football pool way back when. He's 58. Dennis Martinez. Bowler. And also Ronald McLeod, bowler. Also, I knew him from many, many years ago. He was my across the street neighbor for a year before when I was a kid. He's 57 today. Aileen Murray, how I knew her, and her last name is now Jewel. She's 45. I knew her from Monmouth Regional. And Cindy DeMeo from my Wednesday Night Bowling. I'm going to guess she's 29. That's just a guess. Most women are when they don't put their names, their ages out there. Like Beth has told me, don't say women's ages out there. I'm having a birthday this year. Well, I need to know when your birthday is. We all have birthdays. When your name is start today and I don't know anything else, that doesn't help. Okay. Now, and like I said, again, if anyone wants to join in the conversation, not just be in the comments, but you actually want to join in and actually talk and say something like Weather Biatch. If there's a hurricane coming, or start today if you actually want to come on and talk about your Falcons. Or Aiden, if you can actually get on somehow and you want to talk about your play that you've been doing. You know, I'd love to hear that. I know Start Today would. Like, Start Today would absolutely love to hear you actually talk about your play and what you did. Which I have to say, I saw Aiden in his play. Bravo. Bravo. And I will say this, I did cry. I was pushing away tears. It got emotional. And it was a little Aiden, but it was also the story. Like, the story I knew, they changed it up a little, and I got a little emotional. This is what happens. I don't bring Kleenex with me. I need to start bringing Kleenex. Yes, I admitted that out loud. Just tell me when your birthday is. I don't care. I will say it. But it has to be on that day. I'm not doing on it, you know. Anyway. We're coming to the end. Next week, there'll be a lot more talk about a lot of different things, including the football pool. Okay, July 30th, 2024. We're getting closer to football. And that, remember, is also the trade deadline day. So that's a huge thing to talk about. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are my last shows. Yes, they are. I know that. That's why I'm getting you on Friday after when your aunt brings you down. But I meant you come on and talk about it live. That's what I meant, Aiden. So somehow you got to link up on Ed's computer where you can actually come on live and talk. That's what I'm talking about. That's all. I mean, you can do a segment if you want. You don't have to be on the whole time. I'm okay with that. So, anyway, back to episode 48, July 30th, 2024. That is all. An hour and 48. I got to go. The Yankees start in 10 minutes. Everything else, they can wait till next week. Peace out. Have a good one.